Yo, YouTubers. I'm going live. I'm going live because it goes up quicker to YouTube without uploading, you know? And we're not doing anything fancy, we're just talking, okay? I'm just wondering what's going on. Someone was shouting in the block and my microphone was picking it up, and I'm wondering if it's someone objecting to me talking on YouTube. I don't know. If it is, like, shut up. Shut up. If it's nothing to do with me, I'm sorry, mate. Alright, folks, so let's get straight into it, right? There's nobody watching. That's cool. It doesn't really matter. It is a kind of, I don't know what that's about. It's saying unsupported resolution. You need to change the video resolution. The current resolution is blah, 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 which is not supported for this configuration. Okay, we've got one watching. Anybody watching who I know? How you doing out there? Is it somebody I know? Is it somebody cool? Okay, let's get on with it, man. Let's go. I could sit back a bit, man. I've got like long headphone lead on. I've got my big headphones on now. I don't want to seem big-headed, but I've got my big headphones on. Like. Two watching. Hey, this is, are we going to get free? We're going to get a world record. We're going to get a world record. Free watching. Let's just check the comments in case anyone's signaled. No comments. Like I say, guys, you can remain anonymous. You don't have to tell me, oh, it's Phil. Yo, Phil, I got you. All right, how's it going, man? You all right, dude? Isn't this crazy, man? It's like Thunderbirds, isn't it? You know, the pictures on the wall in Thunderbirds. I'm talking from my Thunderbird picture on the wall, like, you know. Okay, this is a speech, guys. This is a quick speech. I'm saying, I know there's only two people watching. I'm saying guys and gals or whatever, like, you know. But it's for when I put it up later on, isn't it? In case any more people watch it later on. Okay. So I take it you can hear me. Can you actually hear me, Phil? Is it okay? Can you hear me microphone? I've altered the settings so that it wasn't in one speaker. It should be in two speakers if you're using stereo. Well, it's mono actually, you know what I mean? But it should be on both sides. I've worked out the audio problem. Oh man, as the older I get, I'm more becoming a technophobe, you know. I'm scared of technology, you know what I mean? I'm getting like caveman. I'm a caveman. All right, let's get straight on with it, right? This is a kind of, I've got tons of things to talk about. I actually got a list, like, not now, like, but this piece of paper, man. Look at all them. They're all like titles of things that I've got to talk about on YouTube, speeches, important speeches, and then there's the comedy. Yeah, Phil said it's okay, sound, nice one. And I've got like comedy stories to talk about the dog. I might do it tonight, I don't know. It's you know, I've decided to come on early and just kind of like, I might blitz a few live streams on the trot, you know what I mean? So there's the camera there, I'm looking at the camera there. Okay. Right. The speech, tonight's speech is about like, it's about the gang stalking sort of information. You know, when people are gang stalk, or, you know, when people think they're being watched or spied on and stuff like that, right? And, you know, I have actually been diagnosed with paranoid psychosis, right, folks? I admit it, I have got paranoid psychosis. You would not believe what I hear in my head. I always deny it, you know, when I have to go to see doctors and they say, do you hear voices? And I always go, no, you know, because I don't think it really matters to what, you know, me illness. It doesn't really matter whether I do or I don't. But I always say no. And I do hear voices. I get all kinds of harassment in my head, but I've learned how to deal with it. It's been going on for nearly 20 years, you know what I mean? So I can deal with it. But I do have serious psychotic problems, you know, where I think I get paranoid. Paranoid psychosis, you do think people are doing things even though they're not, you know what I mean? That's part of the condition, right? But I know when I do things, if someone is actually spying on me or trying to monitor me, like, I know I'm not imagining it right. And here's a strange one. Here's a strange tale of when I actually, I did feel like I was being monitored. And I was in the middle of nowhere, do you know what I mean? I wasn't even in me pad, I was camping, right? And it was the first time I decided to go camping, right, folks? I went, oh man, I did this mega bike ride from Birkenhead. I mean, I was a complete green amateur, complete greenhorn, right? A complete, you know, you learning, no, camping is one of the maddest learning curves you'll ever go through, is like, because you think you know it all, and then you go camping and then you realise something's missing, and it takes ages and ages to work things out and try and just, you know, what I call stealth camping or bushcraft or whatever. But what I did, I decided to ride at like a sort of cheap budget mountain bike all the way to Wales, you know what I mean? And I had a backpack that was like, oh man, I had my tent, my sleeping bag, everything. And you know, when you first go, I had like a towel with me. I took like about 10 pairs of underpants, which I never even changed while I was there, you know what I mean? I was like there for 5 days. I had like spare underpants, socks and everything. And you know, because you're in a tent in the middle of nowhere, when you wake up in the woods and everything, you feel clean. You don't, when you're in a house sitting on chairs and everything, you feel like you need to bath all the time. It's a strange thing, right? When you're camping, you don't feel like you need to shower or nothing really, unless you've been excessively sweating or something, right? You actually feel cleaner sleeping in the woods than you do in a house. It's weird, man. Right, but you learn these things with time, you know what I mean? Even with the insects on and everything, it's kind of like, it's fun, you know what I mean? You probably end up eating grubs and everything, you know. But anyway, I cycled all the way to Ruffin in Wales, but on this like terrible mountain bike, right? And mountain bikes, if they're sort of cheap and that, they're not really designed for, you know, they're meant for just going around the town, aren't they? You know what I mean? And I had panniers on the back loaded with, like, you know, the big camping stoves, the ones you put the gas canisters in, like one of them in a plastic case on the back of the bike with gas canisters, loads of tins, packets of noodles and stuff. I was like, I cycled about 35 miles, I think it was, that what I said on on these things, you know, the computers. The cycle computer, it actually said 35 miles or something like that, right? But man, it was a hard bike ride as well, because I wasn't used to cycling through Wales, you know what I mean? So I actually punished myself and cycled all the way to Wales with the most ridiculous amount of camping equipment on my back and everything, and on the bike, right? So it was like heavy as, it was ridiculous, man. I made a complete knob of myself in a way, and I injured myself. My legs were battered for days, you know what I mean? But anyway, I got all the way to Wales now, and I found these little woods out about 2 miles outside Ruffin. If you go on Google Maps and you find Ruffin on the map, and then you follow the A494 road, 2 miles out of Ruffin on the A494, I seen these. It was raining, and I got there late. I got there about 8 o'clock at night. It was pissing down. I was like, I need to pitch a tent up fast, and like. Right, so I pitched the tent up in these woods. It's like I've got it all on film. I filmed the whole thing so I can share the movie one day in the future, you know what I mean? I've got all my camping trips filmed, you see. But anyway, I set up my tent in these woods, and it was amazing. Like, it was like, I felt like Merlin and everything, you know what I mean? It's like, wow, this is perfect, right? And I was in a relationship with a chick at the time, right? And I had friends and everyone who all like, and then none of them wanted to go camping with me, and none of them were interested in going with me, you know what I mean? I was saying, like, if you want to come with us, like, you know what I mean? You're welcome, like, you know what I mean? They weren't interested in that, like, so I thought, okay, make a day of it, I'll just do it on my own, you know, just get into it, like, you know, I'll do it for the sake of my own thing, like. I get all the way there, find these brilliant little woods on private land, you know what I mean? There was there was a farmer's, like, field just outside where cows had been and things like that, so I had to be, like, you know, stealth camp, vigilant and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, I was hidden in these trees. No one could have seen me going past. The only problem I had was the tent was bright blue, right? But it was out of the way. It was kind of in these woods, so no one could see it, you know what I mean? Was like, that's another stupid mistake I made. I bought a bright blue, like light blue, sky blue tent. You know, instead of thinking of green camouflage or stealth camping, private land kind of thing. But anyway, I'm in this little tent. I set my tent up and everything like 8 or 9 o'clock at night. It was raining. Just managed to set it up roughly and to get my head down and rest. Woke up, my legs are battered and everything. Oh man, I was in severe pain. And but the best thing about it was I was thinking, wow, it was my first ever camping trip on my own. It was the first time I ever actually went into Wales alone, with not being driven in there and nothing. It was kind of, you know, it was like a liberating thing for me, right? And because I cycled all the way there, the reason I cycled, I didn't get on public transport or nothing, right, is because I thought to myself, no one would, like, follow me. Do you know what I mean? I thought, if anyone's spying on me or, what's the word, stalking me or, like, gang stalking me or tracking me or anything like that, paranoid psychosis, it makes it worse, obviously. I was thinking, I'm in these woods for the first time. I'm like, I feel so peaceful. I got right into it, the silence and the no electricity, only my little personal stereo, right? I had a little mobile phone, which is what I'm going to get onto in a minute. This is what the whole story... I know I'm drawing it out a bit, right, guys, but I've got to give you value for money, haven't I? If I just came up for like 5 minutes and then went off, you'd kind of be pissed off, wouldn't you? You know what I mean? So I try and draw it out because I think some people like hearing me talk, right? It's very soothing and... when I put my deep, soothing voice on, hi, you're listening to Radio Roller Coaster Ride on YouTube. I've got a good voice, haven't I? People like to hear me talk. I'm in these woods, right? I feel like Merlin. I've got my bike is against the tree, like my horse, like kind of thing. I'm in these woods. No one's going to find me. No people are going to find me. And I didn't tell anyone exactly where I was, obviously, right? And as far as I know, my phone, the phone I was using at the time, like this thing, right? This thing is my current phone. It's actually got credits on. Look, man, it's actually, I've actually topped it up. It's got credits. But this is those work phones, you know what I mean? And they're brilliant, man, you know what I mean? It's heavy duty, the battery lasts forever and everything, but there's no internet on it, right? So I like that. Obviously, it's a phone and people can track a phone, can't they? You know what I mean? So I'm always aware of that. I always take my SIM card out of my phone, you know what I'm saying, when I'm not using it. I always remove the SIM card, guys. It's the golden bull. You know the golden bull of the Bible? That's the SIM cards. Do you know what I mean? Because they're ripping us off. Really, like. So I hardly top this up, but I had to top it up to put, so in case I have to use texts and things, right? But anyway, the phone I took with me, it's one of these, right? And look at this, man, for an antique, like, you know what I mean? Antique. Still got it, look. Me old Sony, what are they called? Let's see what it's called, man. Like collector's items, these, man. What's it called? Sony Ericsson. Where's the name on it, like? KI or something, I can't remember. That's mad. There's no actual cyber shot camera or whatever, like. But there's my original phone that I took camping, right? That was the phone I took with me camping, right? And the thing with this phone is, we're going back a bit now. We're going back a good few years. I don't know. I've lost track what year it was when I went. But this works perfectly. It actually has it's a bit little faulty on some of that sometimes, but it's fully functional. It works completely right. But I hardly use it because it's kind of outdated, right? But it has got internet on it. I used to be able to go online on it, like read texts and things like emails and things years ago, like when I used it, like. But I took this with me camping, right? I had a personal stereo with me, like a little MP3 player, right? With music on that, like if I couldn't sleep, I'd just listen to sounds in the tent, right? And it was like, it was woods. It was like, the location was in between Ruffin and a place called Llanfair in North Wales, right? So I actually wrote the song Serene. I don't know if you go back to me thing called Brucey's Greatest Bits, right? And you find the one, there's a picture of a tent or a picture of me bicycle on the road or something. It's photographs from when I was camping on this particular trip. I took a load of photographs as well, right? And I wrote this brilliant song in the place called Serene about Wales. It's like me Wales bard song, you know what I mean? It's my little song for Wales. I wrote songs for Ireland. I wrote songs for the Isle of Man. I've just got to do Scotland. I haven't been to Ireland yet either, you know what I mean? But anyway, I was in the middle of Wales and I'm thinking, this is serene, this is perfect. And I had that phone with me, right? And I wrote the song Serene, you know what I mean? Which is very balladic. I don't know if you've heard it, but it's on the channel. Like, you've got to go into it. It's called Brucey's Greatest Bits. All the videos are like Brucey's Greatest Bits 1, Brucey's Greatest Bits 2. And I don't label them, you see. There's no name. I don't put the names of the songs. I've done it so people have to go in there to find these things, you know what I mean? If they're interested, right? But anyway, the song called Serena, wrote it in this place, and there's photographs of it. You want to see what it looked like and everything. I was in paradise, basically, right? I was actually having a dump in the floor and burying it, and you know what I mean? I didn't need the toilet. Oh, it was amazing. And Tesco's was 2 miles away in Ruffin, so I was okay for water. Do you know what I mean? I could get like cheap bottles of spring water and noodles and stuff. Beer, oh, it was brilliant. You know what I mean? I had some beers there as well. Brilliant. Didn't even take any weed enough, and I was like, that's how bad it was. No one had any weed to give me, or it was like, I'm going to Wales for the first time. I didn't even have a weed to smoke, you know what I mean? It was ridiculous, like. Well, anyway, the chick I was seeing at the time, like, she wasn't bothered that I was going camping, right? I thought, she won't follow me or track me, will she? I did speak to her on the phone while I was there, you know what I mean? Like, but I was thinking, no one's going to track me while I'm here, or, you know, like, you know, it was kind of scary at night when it went dark. You can hear all the animals, the farm animals go, you know, they make weird noises in the early hours. It's quite scary. You think it's monsters and stuff. Right, the other morbid thing about the place was about after 10 o'clock at night, when it was going dark and I was in my tent thinking I'm going to sleep now. 5 days I was there, like, you know what I mean? It was my first ever camping trip, 5 days. I didn't want to come home, you know what I mean? But I had to, like, you get me? Like, but in the tent, like, after 10 o'clock, there were trees above the tent. I was surrounded by trees, and when it was that good, the canopy was so magical, if you know what I mean. Even when it was pissing down with rain, I could sit on my little feet, you know, the little tripod stools, sit on it, like, just staring at the trees, and I couldn't even feel a raindrop hit my body. You know, I could wear my t-shirt in the woods, and the trees, they actually act like umbrellas, you know what I mean? It's mind-blowing. You learn a lot of things, like, you know what I mean? It was great. Right, but I was thinking, no one's going to disturb me, you know what I mean? Like, and I'd been there for, like, I'd had a serious crash on my bike. That's another story, right? I nearly killed, I was going 30 miles an hour down a hill in Wales. I went right into a fence, like, you know what I mean? I've done some stupid things to myself while I was there, like, but anyway, there was the main thing was, like, peace, serenity, serene. I'm on my own in the tent in the middle of nowhere. No one's bugging me, no one's doing me head, you know what I mean, right? Next thing, there was, like, I think it was about the third night, maybe the fourth night into the stay, right? And I was in my tent, and I was lying down, and it was pitch black in my tent. It was dark, right? It was pitch black, and I was asleep. I was trying to sleep in my tent. It's dead hard to get to sleep, right? And you know, because you toss and turn, and you sometimes, you open your eyes, don't you? And you just see things by accident, you know what I mean, right? Tossing and turning in my tent, like, I couldn't sleep kind of thing. It was a bit uncomfortable and that, like, a bit uncomfortable at night, And I seen in amongst me stuff, in amongst me junk, you know, where you stack all your stuff, your cooking stuff, your noodles or whatever, you have all your junk kind of that next to your sleeping bag down the side, like, I could see a little red light, right? And obviously it was about, I don't know, it was in the early hours, maybe 2 o'clock in the morning. And I could just see this little red light going on for a few seconds and then off and then on. And I was looking amongst me stuff and I was going, there's nothing in my stuff there. I didn't bother, like, you know, like, because I was tired and I was trying to sleep. I didn't bother ruffling through it all and trying to find, you know, stick me torch on and go, what's that that's going on and off? Right. So I was looking at this little red tiny light going on and off, and I was thinking, is this something with a battery and charging, or what have I got there? I've got a camera. I've got my camera didn't have a red light that goes on and off, right? My MP3 player didn't have a red light that could be going on and off, right? And this, as far as I know, didn't have a red light that goes on and off, right, guys? Okay, this is like, it's a phone, mobile phone. It was switched on, and it was, you know, so it could have been receiving phone signals or whatever. Someone could have been, you know, it did have internet on it as well, remember, but it wasn't connected to anything, if you know what I mean. I hadn't rang anyone and left it connected to anything, so there couldn't have been anything with that, could there, you know what I mean? And you see there, you've got your flashlight thing there where the flash is, and there's little things, right? But I didn't even think, and, you know, the point is, I've never ever seen a red light go on this phone, right? So it didn't even cross my mind with that one, right? So I was thinking all night, I could see the light going on and off, and I finally got to sleep. I don't know, about 4 or 5 in the morning, and I had a little bit of a sleep in that light. And the next morning, it was daylight, right? As it came, you know, daylight, I thought. And I remember thinking, what was that? What was that thing that was going on and off last night amongst my stuff? And I looked where it was, where I seen the light, and it was where my phone was, right? It was my phone, and I was thinking, there's no red light on the phone, you know what I mean? And then I had a closer look, and you know, I think it was the night after, and it did it again or something, and I had another look, and it was this. You know, there, you can just see it in the corner there, you know, that thing there. See that little thing there? That's the infrared. Right. See that little bit in the corner there? Just that thing there, that little long, like, window. That's the infrared sensor. You know, when no one uses infrared on a mobile phone, do they? You know what I mean? Apart from, like, when they first, ages ago, right? Most people, this has got Bluetooth on it as well, hasn't it? It's got Bluetooth on it, right? So most people, who uses infrared on a mobile phone, guys? You know what I mean? You know, there's just... I know it's like, say I was like, I had a photograph on this phone, and I wanted to send it to someone else's phone. I could have done it with infrared, couldn't I? You know, but I never used that. We always use Bluetooth, don't we, or the internet to do it, like, because it did have, I could send things via the internet, you know, photos and stuff, right? So I was like, I don't use infrared on this. So why is the light going on and off, which can only mean one thing, can't it, guys? Someone was tracking my phone using infrared, and the only way I knew is that the light was going on and off. And it really gave me the creeps, do you know what I mean? I'm in a tent in the middle of these woods, right? And I was thinking, that's like something the military would do or something, isn't it? You know, like, it didn't even come into my head that I've never used infrared on the phone. No one uses it, do they? No one used it. Because most people use Bluetooth or whatever. So I was like thinking, oh my word, that's like someone was using my phone to actually, they could probably detect where it was, right? The other thing with infrared, right, what gave me the creeps, right, you can't use infrared from a long distance, you know what I mean? Like, I couldn't like stand like a mile away from someone with this phone and send it to them via infrared, can I? It's like when you use it, it's a remote control, isn't it? Someone's using some kind of remote control to make the light go on and off, right? And the other thing that it gave me the creeps, right, think about it, right, folks, you know, I'm in the woods on my own in the middle of Wales, and someone is not far away actually sending infrared signals to my phone. Do you know what I mean? Or they were monitoring it. They were just saying, is he still in the tent? Is he still there? Yeah, let's check his phone. Beep. Yeah, it's there. I don't know. Or someone was sending something to me phone, or someone was taking something from me phone. I haven't got a clue, right? But I'm just keeping this brief, you know what I mean? It's 23 minutes. I just would like to know, right, anyone out there, right, any suggestions? Can anyone explain to me if they've got any knowledge about infrared or whatever, like, what on earth could have possibly been going on there other than someone tracking me or spying on me, you know, keeping an eye on me, like? Because that thing was never used, mate. All the time I owned it and used it, I never seen that light go on ever in my life. Do you know what I mean? Now, it just makes you wonder, throughout the daytime, that could be going on and off, like, you know, when you're using these particular phones. It could have been going on and off loads of times and people were using something, to be honest, but you don't notice it because it's daylight or whatever. The only reason I saw it is because it was in a dark tent. Do you know what I mean? Because I was confused. I was thinking, where's that coming from? You know, I didn't have a clue, man, until I woke up and I looked at the place and I thought, it was the phone. And I was thinking, there is no red light on the phone. Then I noticed that and I was thinking, oh, man, that can only mean one thing. It gave me the creeps, guys, you know what I mean? I thought, has someone followed me all the way to Wales in a car or something, right? Now, here's where it gets crazy, like. On the Wirral where I live, in Birkenhead, where I was living at the time, well, here, you know, where I lived here, like, there was a guy, you know, you see some mad lads, and I'm not being funny or anti-drugs or whatever, like, but, you know, like the dealer types, and they drive around in flash cars, you know what I mean? And they sort of show off, and they, you know, they go, and do like wheel spins and everything, don't they, on the roads and stuff, right? Well, there was a particular distinctive car, right, that was always driving around Birkenhead, right? Very distinctive, right? A Ford Fiesta, a white Ford Fiesta, with like designer white stripes, designer blue stripes. If you imagine a white Ford Fiesta, right, and then all the way from the back of it over the roof and right down to over the bonnet, over the front, is like these two like go faster stripes, you know what we call go faster stripes or whatever, like two distinctive blue lines, you know, it was like a white car with two blue lines around it, and it was always round here, you know, before I went to Wales, you'd always seen it round here, you know what I mean? And it's, you know, you couldn't miss it, right? But just by chance, while I was in Wales, I walked out of the tent and went for a little walk onto the field that was just out beyond the tent, like, you know what I mean? I was like standing there and I could see the road from the tent, right? Next thing, I see a car coming past, like, it was that car, you know, that Ford Fiesta that was very distinctive in Birkenhead. It's from Birkenhead, right? Because I don't care what anyone says, the chances of seeing the same colour scheme or whatever, you know, is just a bit too thingy, right? Now, I know that, like, people I knew at the time were all kind of, like, you know, connections to, you know, I don't know, they'd get anyone to come and follow me and watch me, couldn't they, you know, from afar, like, someone might have told someone to follow me in the car, keep an eye on me, and then, like, monitoring me from, you know, using infrared, but they had to be very close to me tent to do it, didn't they, you know what I mean, man, that gave me the creeps, man. I'm in the dark woods on my own. All right. All these crows used to come at 10 o'clock every night, right? Every night after 10 o'clock, right? Say I'll be about to try and go to sleep, and it's kind of eerie. You wouldn't think it's scary, guys, but when you're on your own in woods, it's kind of strange, you know what I mean? You can't, because I stealth camp, and I'm like, I'm taking risks, aren't I, when I stealth camp? Because I could get done in and no one would even, you know, because you got to be secretive and not let anyone know where you are. You get done in and no one would know you're dead for like a month or something, do you know what I mean? so what was that? You're right, it's flies' eyes. Have you ever looked at them through a wow, yeah. Okay. I just got a message there, someone just put a message confirming that there is flies' eyes on that thing, like, you know, that first person's come back to me on that one, mate, you know what I mean? It's actually, it's just a comment, basically, you know, not a comment on this. But yeah, okay, guys, so I've got this suspicion, right? You know when you say gang stalking and that, like, and people, like, they're like a mob of youths that drive around in this Ford Fiesta. They're like lunatic young lads who are probably all, you know, all probably like, you know, chazheads and that, like, you know what I mean? And they must have followed me. Someone must have told them to follow me to Wales, you know, like, keep out of sight or whatever, like, I don't know. Someone was pushing a button. Someone was in the vicinity. Does anyone know? Like the range or the distance of these infrared phones and, you know, these infrared sensors or whatever? I mean, what else do you use infrared on them phones for? You could have a separate remote control to, I don't know, you know, them sort of like Bluetooth headsets and that, but they're infrared. I don't know what you could get, because I never used it. But sure enough, that little red light was going on and off, right, guys? So I'll leave you with that. That's just one of my speeches. I might do another one in a little bit. I'm just going to have my tea and that, and I might be doing another one, like my cup of tea. Yeah. I'm having my tea. I haven't actually eaten. I'm on a diet. I'm actually I've just, you know what, tonight I went to Aldi and Tesco's to buy some food and that, right? And I was looking at the beers and everything, and I still didn't buy none because I've got to lose weight, but oh man, it's painful. It's painful looking at the beers and saying to myself, if I drink them, I'll only go back to square one, right? Because I stabilise about 14 stone. I'm stabilising about 14 stone, right, guys? So I know if I, like, blitz myself and, like, done a real proper regime, get down to 10, 11 stone, I carry on drinking like I normally do, then I'll be stabilised because of the stuff. I know my amount of drink, what I drink, like, I'll stabilise and I'll stay at like 10, 11 stone, if you know what I mean. Once I get to that stage, man, I'll be drinking so much I won't be able to stop. I've got to discipline myself. But yeah, going to Tesco's Friday night and Aldi and not being able to bring any drinks home, oh man, it's hard. It really is. So I'm totally clear tonight. I'm not, like, you know, intoxicated whatsoever, like. Alright guys, comments below. Another thing I'll be doing, I'll be putting the PayPal, obviously relatives are exempt. Any strangers who watch this video, you want to donate, I haven't had a single donation yet, so don't see. How can it be on YouTube, guys? How can I have 308 subbers, right, guys? 308 subbers, right? 8 of them or 10 of them could be people I know, couldn't they, right? Family, people who I'm, like, familiar with from my locality, right? And, you know, my old buddies and that, right? Where's the other 300 people? If say 200 of them gave me a tenner each, towards a computer. I'm laughing on. I've got I've got the computer. I need him one like £10 from every one of them. You know, I'm not trying to rip anyone off. You know what I mean? If it comes to the worst, I'll try and get one myself. You know what I mean? But it's the only way I can do high quality videos on YouTube if I'm going to carry on doing it. Like, you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? All right, folks, I'm getting off. If Phil's still watching, thanks. Thanks for watching, Phil. You know what I mean? I appreciate it. And whoever else is watching, let's have a look. How many have we got? Like, still 2 watching yet, right? It's hilarious, isn't it, man? Like, oh man, I've got 308 subscribers, guys. Do you know what I mean? And where are they? What happens? Where are they? Where are they? I'm sure most of them are bots or spies. You know what I mean? Some of them have got to be bots, man. You know what I mean? All right. Any ideas, folks? I'll come back on after. I'll have a little rest, and I might be going on a little bit. Like, I'll be doing as many as I can until, what time is it now? Oh, it's only 20 to 11, isn't it? So I can go on until about, like, say 12, 1 o'clock. Yeah, but I've got a couple of comedy stories. Like, you know, my channel, it's called Roller Coaster Ride for a reason, guys. It's like you know, think about it. I'm playing guitars 1 minute, singing the next minute. I'm like, cooking food, and I'm talking about gang stalkers. I'm talking about, it's a roller coaster ride, isn't it? It really is. Like, it's like, whoa, what's Bruce going to be talking about this time? Like, is it funny? Is it serious? You know? But I've got a ton of information to share, guys, and I'm just not geared up to sit down on this chair and do it. You know, it's crazy. I get more views on my speeches than anything else. That's like, I appreciate that. Has anyone gone to PhotoCrowd yet, by the way? You know, the site I recommended called PhotoCrowd, and you post photographs up and stuff, and everyone shares photographs, and it's great, and I recommend it. And I'm on it, like, and you could come on it and join me, like, you know what I mean? But you can see me photographs. I'm getting some serious, like, there's some serious photographers out there, guys, who use, like, Nikons and everything, right? They're looking at my photographs and pressing the love button, you know what I mean? They're saying, so I'll get a message in my email saying, so-and-so loved your photograph. You know, and there's quite a lot of people loving me photography, you know what I mean? I'm quite shocked, right? And then I'll check their profile, and their photos are amazing, you know what I mean? They're like professionals, and they're loving my photos. It's kind of cool. I'm kind of, it's like another medium of mine, another art form, isn't it, you know? So, yeah, I recommend that. PhotoCrowd, it's called, with an F. I think, is it an F or is it a P? I don't even know. Oh, man. But you just type PhotoCrowd. It's worth checking out, guys. It's fun to keep in touch with people and everything, like, you know what I mean? Oh, 1954 Chaos is on. Hi. It's right. Another sub has appeared. 1954 Chaos. Hi, how's it going out there, man? This is the first time he's joined me while I'm live. It's great. Right, so that's the two watches, man. I think so, anyway, unless Phil's gone, someone else has gone. Come on, like, but this is good, this, isn't it? Listen, guys, I'm trying to work out, you know, the thing called StreamYard, and the other one's called Zoom, isn't it? You know, them things where you can share the screen and talk to people in their own living rooms. I'd love to do that on YouTube. It'd be so much fun. It'd be like Skype, isn't it? It's like Skype online, like, so hopefully I'm trying my best to work out the techno stuff to try and set it up so we can have open discussions and open, you know, where we talk about subjects online and serious debates and that. All right, guys, so I'm going to be trying to do my best to get on with that. I did set up StreamYard onto my computer, right? You know, StreamYard, it allows you to talk to people online, but it's because it works off a cloud. It's really efficient, you know what I mean? You don't really need it's not in your computer. All the technology is in the cloud, right? And I got to setting it all up, right? And you know where I got let down? I won't use Google Chrome on my computer, you know, because of the 666 stuff and all that, like. I don't trust Google Chrome. I don't trust Google in general, you know what I mean? So, and I came up, I went to use StreamYard or test it and that, you know, because I want to get people on my channel to talk with me. I want us to talk about some great subject matter, you know what I mean? Here you go. I just like the Liverpool accents. That's what 1954 Chaos said. I just like the Liverpool accent. Yeah, it's Birkenhead actually, right? I'll talk about the accent, right? Um, like, let's just put it this way: we do sound like Scousers, don't we? We're from. This is the Birkenhead accent. Scousers would call us posh. They would say, you know, use a posh on in Birkenhead or on the Wirral. You know what I mean? Right. Let's just put it this way, mate. If I was like, I was a Scouser, I'd be like, this is how I'd be talking. I'd be going like, all right there, lad. Sam is. I'll just do a live broadcast on YouTube and that, like, and see what people have got to say and that, like. And you can see the difference. It's like, wow. Just gonna go down to the shipping and that, lad. Some food and that, like, let's go, mate. You know, there's total difference with the Scouse accents, isn't it? But we are like, I'm only over the water from Liverpool. My flat is just, I can look out my window and see the city of Liverpool, like, all lit up. It's great, like, you know what I mean? You know, the window on the stairwell. It's great. So, you know, when I was a kid, I used to come in these flats every day, basically. Get in the lift, come to the top floor, look out the window at Liverpool, you know what I mean? I used to look out the window at Liverpool nearly every day, guys, you know what I mean? I was like mad. I loved looking at views, you know what I mean? But you can't get a better view than the city of Liverpool, can you? Best city in the world and that, like, you know what I mean? It's the best. I've been to Amsterdam, yeah. I've been to London. I've been to Birmingham. I've been to Leeds. Been to Manchester. Sheffield. Oh, I've been all over the country kind of thing. And the best city in the world is Liverpool, man. It actually is the best city in the world. I think it is. I don't know what anyone else thinks. Like, I'm not being biased, like, you know. Not being, like, biased and that, like, you know what I mean? But I just think it's, like, the best city in the world, and the lads just, like... I know what I love doing, forcing non-Scousers to try and talk Scouse. It's quite funny, you know, when you talk to people who are from America or something like that, and you go, like, try talking Scouse, man. Say something instead of funny watching and try and say it, like... I'm great with accents. If I was an actor, I could do everything, you know what I mean? I could do any accent, me, like. Apart from Glasgow, oh, yeah. Oh, right, I'm going to Glasgow soon, right? I'm going to be going to Glasgow, right? I'm going to be going to Glasgow soon, right? And we don't see Glasgow in Glasgow, we see Glasgow, right? I'm going to Glasgow, right? I'm going to play my guitar in the street, right? And see you, right? You better put money in my box, right? Or I'm going to nut ya. That's my Glaswegian accent. I can't do the Scouse Glaswegian accent. Yeah, I'm good with accents. Alright, folks, I've got to get off now, right? 1954 Chaos, if you arrive quite late, if you want, once I've posted this, you'll be able to watch the entire thing, but I'm coming back on live a bit later, okay? If you know, I'm trying to do something before 12 and 1 o'clock, you know, 2 or 3 speeches if it's possible. Some comedy stories about my dog, right? I'll do it now, like, in one go, but I want to keep the subject matter separate, you know what I mean? This is about, like, a gang stalking incident, where I was gang stalked kind of thing and followed to Wales, and they were monitoring my phone with infrared. I believe they were soldiers, you know what I mean? I believe they were soldiers monitoring my phone. They weren't in Bruce's Independent Navy, you know what I mean? They weren't in the bin. They weren't in the bin, B-I-N, Bruce's Independent Navy. They were just soldiers, weren't they? You know, just usual tin soldiers. Driving around in a fancy car. Yeah, cheers, Bruce. Yes, some man. Cheers, man. Appreciate that, mate. Thanks. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate it. All right, then. I'm getting off, and I'll be coming on a little bit later. I'm just going to finish my drink and chill out, have a little munch. And I'll be back on later. Hopefully, if I don't, it'll be tomorrow. I'll be putting a string of speeches together, like of some comedy stuff about my dog again, right? Some really funny things about that dog, mate. You won't believe it. What he did, like, you know, some of the funny things he did, like, oh, at the expense of me poor Al, man. You know me Al, man. You know, my dad, he had, like, the dog put him through hell, basically. My dad used to call it the devil dog. It was that bad, guys. My dad would be like, he's the devil dog, he's the flipping devil dog. And I'd be like, you can't be a devil dog if he's capable of being good to people, can he? You know what I mean? Because he was capable of being good, like. But he did wind me dad up big time, so I've got a couple of crazy stories about it. Like, I'll do it tonight, hopefully. But anyway, I'm getting off. I'll upload this and set it all up and that, like, and I'll be back on a little bit later. So thanks for watching. In the comments section, please, anyone wants to say, like, what do you think I'm talking about with this infrared phone? You know, it can only be one thing, can't it? Someone's monitoring me. I'm in the middle of the woods, in the middle of Wales. And the creepy thought that someone's only yards away, mate. Someone's only yards away with an infrared gadget of some kind, you know. Okay, that was the point of this speech, by the way, if you joined me late and you didn't know what I was talking about. Okay, how many watching now? Still 2. Oh, it's only 1 now. Okay, right. So, all right then, I'm getting off. Thanks for watching, anyone who's watching live. And, of course, anyone will be watching this a bit later on when it's published. Yeah, thanks for watching. And, yeah, please make any suggestions. What was going on with me infrared going on and off? The guy who follows me channel, he hates gang stalkers. I'd like his opinion. What does he think of that? You know, because he knows everything. This guy, I know someone. I think he's in America, and he's he's wised up on the gang stalkers big time. Like, you know what I mean? Doesn't trust anybody. I'd be interested to see your opinion, man. What could have been going on with the infrared device there? All right, thanks for watching, and I might be on later on tonight, and if not, I'll see you tomorrow. Okay? Ciao.